Hi, I was busking in town today, or today being the Wednesday the 13th of November 2013, and it was a pretty difficult day. There was a few people busking in town, and I managed to park myself. This is Macclesfield in Cheshire, and I parked myself funny enough beside the historic entrance to the jail, beside a closed down shop, near the top of Mill Street, near the square, the town square. I noticed on my arrival that there was a police car parked approximately outside Tony and Guy's, if you know the area. Regardless, anyway, settled my little dog Katie down. There's Katie, little Katie, and opened my case, got into business. I'd not long started when the police car, clearly with two constables in it, one male, one female, the male driving, then took off down the road. They were pointed down Mill Street. They started driving past, and as they got exactly alongside me, they put the siren on. Mill Street was quite busy. It was lunchtime. There was a good crowd of people in a pedestrian area, and it is pedestrian between the hours of, I think it's 9 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that. Certainly this was a pedestrian time on a Wednesday, and because they were finding it difficult to move forward with any kind of speed, they put the siren on. The effect of this was to clash noise in a very disturbing way in a very confined part of Mill Street. You can imagine the shops on either side. There's nowhere for the sound to go but reverberate inwards, and as you know, a siren is extremely loud, and rightly so, and when it's used correctly, it needs to be that loud. However, I would like to question whether or not it was entirely necessary for them to do that. I'm sure the car was fitted with a little horn that you beep on the steering wheel. Polite little park might have been all that was required to give them some space. There was also another exit just a few yards ahead of them on the right, to go up past the post office and lead on to Churchill Way. So really my question in my head, having spent 5 minutes calming my dog down and speaking to various people who walked past who had been there at the time and were complaining about the aggressive nature of the siren at that point. And after I calmed my dog down, I walked up to the police station to find out what A, the policy was, and B, if I could find out why the police were using that siren at that time. Were they responding to a heinous crime, or was it simply to make their way on the street? Clearly, in the case of it being a heinous crime they were responding to, I can understand they wanted to get there as soon as possible. It's an emergency vehicle. However, if that was not the case, then to me it was overstepping potentially authority and causing unnecessary aggravation and harassment to the people in the street. People and animals, quite a few animals in the street. I don't know if I had a heart condition, or my father had a heart condition, and such instances of loud noise were enough to set him into a panic. And it's not just heart conditions, it's many conditions. Condition of being human, perhaps. So, you can see what happened when I went there. I was blocked by a chap who was in charge of the desk. He was the boss of the desk, and, well, have a look at the video. I will also be recharging my phone because it didn't have very much battery life in it. I'm recharging my phone now in order to return and record, hopefully, an interview with a public servant at the police station who has a little bit more authority on such things as police policy, to speak to me about that situation, and to discover whether or not a complaint can reasonably be made, or should reasonably be made. I'm not after giving them a terrible hard time in their conduct, or in going through their duties as they should be. However, I also want to take them to task about, well, if it's potentially been, as it clearly is potentially at the moment, an abuse of the appearance of authority, and cause distress to me, my dog, to other people in the town, potentially unnecessarily. So I want to get to the bottom of it. I will get to the bottom of it. If the next posting is from Middlewich, you'll know that I've been taken there and arrested for some ridiculous means, but well, we'll cross that bridge if it comes to it. But for the moment, I'm going to very reasonably ask for an explanation for the use of the siren in Mill Street at approximately 1:10 today by the police.